Hello everyone, this is Hachiri and we are back in FTB Interactions. Now, I wanted to start this episode by going over some revisions with the ore system. Those of you who watched the stream know that the last recording stream failed due to a storm, but we're gonna go ahead and go over this offline, just a recording. Get this stuff recorded, and then we'll hop back to the live stream recordings afterwards. So, for those who are wondering, we revised the ore system because the thermal centrifuges were just way too slow. It was taking days to process ore instead of like just an hour or two for like thousands. So what we ended up doing is we now have a double macerator set up here. We have a double ore washer, another double macerator, and a double centrifuge. The logic is still the same, with filters sending like tiny dust up here to the packer and various dusts being moved depending on whether or not it could be processed here. And that's kind of what the ore setup is right now. That's just something I was packing from another setup. We haven't added the electrolyzer stuff this yet. That will be done soon as we get to integrated dynamics, which is actually going to be one of the items we'll be working on. Not so much this episode, but I will be getting parts for that going. I'm just working on getting the titanium made, and that was one of the things we did. And I'll go ahead and kind of show off where we are on that. Now, we should have 3 drums full, and we do. We have 3 full drums here. Excellent. There is no leftover, and I have an entire thing of chlorine here, which is awesome. So that means we have everything we need to get the titanium going. So how we did this is I already have chlorine set up in our reservoir area, and basically I just added the rutile dust and the carbon dust to make the titanium tetrachloride. The carbon monoxide, I decided to go ahead and toss it, which is what this is, because truth be told, I don't need it right now. And I decided not to keep it this instant. In the future though, we will keep it, and we'll probably recycle it into acetone. But for right now, we're just tossing it on this. So with this, all we got to do now is toss it in there with some magnesium. So that's what we're going to work on doing. We're going to take one of these drums, and we're going to take, let's see, how much magnesium does this require? It requires 2, so we're going to need 2 magnesium for every barrel, so that's going to be 6 stacks of magnesium. Is this my mag? Yeah. Alright, so there's our 6 stacks of magnesium. And we're just going to plop this in here, like so. It's going to fill this. This isn't going to do anything until we get that in there. And we'll pick this up, because we're going to grab this. Now, this is going to set us on fire. So we'll have to be quick. There we go. And that should turn on. Excellent, it is. So what we'll do with this is I'll grab the other ones, we'll stack it on here and get that going. But first thing, I'm going to wait for this. And I'm going to whitelist it here. So I want that to go right there. The other thing is, did it take the hot ingot? Yes, it did. Excellent. Cool. So magnesium will go in here. We'll process that later. And that will slowly make that. And we're going to just grab these conduits here. As well as these barrels. Quickly catch up. Oh, well, that's right. That's right. When it's stacked, it doesn't have the effect. Alright, there we go. And what we'll do is have all of these feed into that. And that will process all of the titanium. So that should get us 3 stacks of titanium when it's done. Then we can start working on our EV stuff, getting some of that going. So the other thing that we were going to cover in this recording, we did the brief update on the ore system. And I guess just to go into it in detail, I do have filters here stating that only crushed ores can go in here. These are whitelisted for what can go in here. And this is how I'm kind of keeping this without making a whole bunch of whitelisted things. I'm also changing the colors between each stage. The only thing that's being kept the same is the green, so that the dusts can go where they need to go. And that's really about it. Other than the initial system, everything is handled by memory chests. Now this will change. I'm going to actually do a full tutorial on doing an ore system with integrated dynamics, and that will actually include an electrolyzer with different setups. And for the electrolyzer, we're actually going to use integrated, not integrated dynamics, we're going to use a logistical sorter for the electrolyzer, because we can set specific amounts for each individual dust that needs to go in there. And we can color code and separate it to different electrolyzers so we can have outputs going to different places depending on what it is. So that's the plan with that, and we will eventually get that set up. We're also going to eventually get a 32x ore processing setup up here as well. So this entire setup will be revised in detail, and we will make actually a full episode series. I'll actually isolate it so that you guys can find that. We'll do a full thing on that, covering integrated dynamics. If you guys are wanting to check out integrated dynamics right now, I would definitely recommend looking into Direwolf's series on that. He covers the basics of integrated dynamics really well. I'm going to kind of touch up on the basics, but the main thing I'm really going to cover is programming operators and things of that nature, just so you guys can understand how the operators work with integrated dynamics and how to set those up for ore processing. So we have the titanium going, we have the new ore processing covered. I believe the thing that we were going over before the crash happened was setting up an upgraded altar. And we're just going to do that right now. I do need to get more runed marble. I will do some work on that here shortly. But for right now, we're just going to get this thing built. And we need some engraved. And we need chiseled. Alright, so where did I put it? There it is. And I'm gonna need 5 cell lenses. Is that the ones? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. So basically, how you buff a ritual is you have to have a collector crystal of the same attunement. In this case, we're doing lucerna for right now. Now, on the previous stream recording, I said that the lenses need to be attuned. It turns out it can't be attuned. It just takes an attuned thing. The only thing that matters is the crystal quality for the lens. Otherwise, it's free for all. Alright, so we're going to place it right here. And hope the lens positions play nice. So first you build the collector crystal altar. And we are going to need our barrel of starlight, so we will actually head back to the astral sorcerer area and get that here in a second. But for right now, we're just gonna get the altar built structurally and then get that going. Put that right there. And the engraves right here. Alright, so that is the basic altar setup. 9 marble on the bottom, 12 runes all around, with the corners being chiseled on the bottom and engraved on the top. And then here you have the engraved on the bottom, a pillar, and a chiseled on the top. Now the other thing is the crystal does need to be one above. So we basically place that there like so, remove this, and once I get the barrel of starlight so that we can fill it, we'll actually see this working at that point. So let me move this, grab one of these. All right, and takes 8 barrels of starlight. So we will just get this filled, make it look all pretty. And then suddenly you see particles, and once you see particles, that's when you know the altar's working. So the next thing you need to do is get your pillars, because I forgot to get them for this. And what you're going to do is you're going to right-click the collector crystal, and then you're going to point it at this, and then you'll see this effect. And the big thing you should notice is the second I point the crystal, we now have a ray of starlight shooting out right here. This tells you where to put your lens. Now in this case, it needs to go right here. So we're going to put it right there. We're going to plop a lens down, and then we're going to point that at the altar. And once we do that, another ray of light will start shooting out somewhere. In this case, it's right here. And we basically repeat this for 5 lenses. And the altar, the ritual itself, will basically tell you where to put the lenses based on where these lights shoot out. All right, so now it's shooting out right here, which should be this one. And we'll right-click that and right-click it there. All right, so that one's now pointing. And then the next one is right here. So it's this corner. Right-click that, point it there. And we got one more, and it's going to shoot out somewhere any minute now. Don't know where it is. I can't tell. Is it? Oh, it's right here. Alright, so place that there. Up. Do not place your lens on the starlight altar. That will not help. and then link it. And now you have a fully buffed, and you see the constellation in here, and that's how you know that this is doing its full power now. I'm just kind of making sure. Yeah, it's pointing. Cool. So that is a fully buffed altar right there. And now I gotta go and get more parts to do the next ones. But yeah, that is the fully buffed altar. That is how you get that going. As far as making collector crystals for this, to make an attuned collector crystal, you need to basically have bend the space. You also need to work through Botania because you need resonating gems, and the only way to do that is through the terrestrial agglomeration plant. You will want to make your celestial crystals. I believe I showed that in the previous one. You'll want to buff it in a sky cauldron to max it out, and then you'll want to cap it out in starlight. You want to cap the size out. So you want to get it to where it is this 100 purity, 100 cutting from the sky cauldron. And then you throw the crystal into starlight and let it absorb that liquid starlight until it's size 900. Once it's size 900, it is ready to be attuned and turned into a collector crystal. And that basically covers that. Now, I'm going to show you a contraption that Hakera made, because he basically was, in one way or another, telling me I'm doing it wrong. As far as making that the resonating gem. So he showed me a way to automate it. Let me see. I need a pearl. Alright, so we'll grab a bucket of this. And we'll make ourselves a couple of monopearls. Now this should be full of eyes. It is indeed full of eyes, which is fantastic. We have enough for 2, so we'll make 2. What else do I need? Stardust and that. Okay, cool. So I'm going to show off this contraption. It works half of the time. But I think that is a bug with something. It's supposed to work all of the time because it's set to round robin and it has a weird repeating pattern. And I don't know what's up with that. So this is it. Now, Hakera's works flawlessly. It doesn't have issues. This is set up the exact same. So basically, you set up a sequencer. You toggle the 3. You set the loop for a delay of 10 and a sequence length of 20. Okay. You want flip and clear set up on this, and that's how that is configured. You have it set with a redstone, and you have it pointing towards your impulse item duct. The second thing is you're going to have a resonating retriever. It will be set to high redstone. Okay. You want it on round robin, infinite for the amount the inventory can hold, and 1 at a time with blacklist none. You want it to only pull 1 at a time for each chest. Okay. So we're going to stick each of these in here. We have gems, pearls, stardust. These are just slightly larger chests. And we just turn it on. And you make sure that your thing is off. Before you turn this on. So don't do what I do. Is the magnet off now? Cool. So let's try this again. Okay, magnet's off. And basically, what this will do is it just drops them one at a time. And bam. And it instantly collects the gems in here. This is got an item collector with filter. And that's it. That's all you need to make this work. I gotta shut that off. Gotta find a better way of doing that. But yeah, so that's how you can automate that. This is a Botania open crate, and then this is a Spark with a dominant domination augment, and it basically pulls from this mono battery that I have over here, which gets filled by this. So that's how that works. Let's see. What else are we going to cover here? What else should we work on? We got the ore processing stuff covered. We do need to get the EV assembly machine going so that I can make the parts. Might do that. That might be what we work on. Alright, so we'll focus on that next. So 2 mechanical robots, 2 conveyor belts. Alright. So we're going to take a stack of these. And start making parts. Aluminum cable. And that's annealed copper wire. Alright. Alright, so for this, I'm going to need at least 6 motors just for the robot arms, and then I know I need 2 more here. So that's 10 motors. What else do we need? We need some nano assembly, so we need nano processors. How many nano assemblies do we need? We need 2. And we need epoxy. Ah, this is what was slowing us down last time. We need epoxy, so we need to finish our oil processing. All right. So take a look at this. Hydrochloric glycerol makes the epichlorohydrin. All right. And then we got a lot of both of these. So that's a non-issue. So then we need either Besmanate, which is a combination of all these chemicals, or Naphtha and nitrogen dioxide. Nitrogen dioxide we can make easily. We got to make that anyway for our another setup, so we do need to have a bunch of that. So we may end up creating a process for this. Okay. I'm starting to see what we got to do here. Alright, so we got a little bit of work ahead of us. So we'll finish out building some of the parts and getting that automated, but first let's focus on the empowered oil, because we do need to get this done. I believe, oh wait, no, I remember. I needed the infinity dust. I remember now. That's right, we were working on rituals for that. So we're going to need a whole bunch of ritual stones. So maybe this is what we should look into, is automating slate production. Now, as far as making blank slates goes, this is not the easiest thing to automate. So we may forego some of this. But we'll at least get the ritual stones done, because I believe we needed like over 100k or so of it. Alright. If you're wondering, the other rituals I'm going to actually finish off camera. I'm not going to make you guys watch that. But let's look into this. So I need a bunch of slates. Let's see. Blood. What do we got here? I got 64 here. I do have 4 reinforced. What do I need for this? It's reinforced. Okay. So let's grab this and this. And we do have 20 ritual stones. We actually need a lot more than that. But we have those. We have the dismantler and the dusk diviner. And if I look into blood, I have 1, 2, 3 of those. I think I still need the dusk one, and I think the air one is on me. Yes. So we'll put that in there. Put the inner eyes in here for now. And I think I need to figure out a way of automating this. I'm not quite certain how I want to do it. I know there's a way of doing it with like NBT filters and a couple of chests and some nodes. And I don't really remember how. I may have to do some research on that. I'm really thinking about it. But we'll make a couple of them here, and then what it will do is on the next episode, I will cover the automation after I've had a moment to do some research. So, how this works is you basically take slate, slap it on here, and that will eventually turn into a reinforced slate. And if you leave it on there, it'll just go up to the next tier, up to the maximum tier of your altar. It takes a little bit. I don't have efficiency and speed runes on here, so it does take a little bit. But that's basically how you craft it. And the concept of the nodes is you'd have a couple of chests here, and they would basically swap items around. And when there was nothing to be crafted, it would place your orb on the altar, so that your orb is always charging with LP. And that's the premise of the entire setup. Now, I don't really have LP issues, as you see, you know, getting 156 millibuckets a tick. Or not a tick, but however often this processes, it's not really bad. I don't use a whole lot of it. But that's going to change, because we're going to have some rituals underneath here. And those rituals are going to handle demon will production. And we'll cover that in an episode as well. But that is basically what the slates are. And if you take a look on the slates, essentially it's life essence, arcane stone, and nocturnal powder in a mixer. The arcane stone, you need nacre blocks and any type of viz crystal. The nacre blocks, if you do it in a mixer, it's cheaper and you get more, but it's 500 nacre, 5 stone, and 4 gold nuggets, and you actually get 5 instead of 4 doing it in a mixer, and it uses less nacre. So mixer is definitely the way to go for this. And making nacre, you basically drop a gold nugget in mana, and that makes nacre. But there's a way to automate that, and I'll show you that real quick, because I actually built an automation setup for that. And it's pretty simple. I do believe I have a barrel of nacre somewhere, but you know what? I'll just make another. I don't mind. I don't mind. We will take 8 of these. Turn into nuggets, because we're going to do a full barrel. Throw the extra nuggets in there. Alright. And let's get all this sorted. Now, right now, I believe it's turned off. Oh, I don't see anything. Okay, yeah, it's off. So we're going to set one barrel right here. Or one drum, I should say. We're going to go over to the tanks. I'll just teleport over there. Home tanks. And we're going to go to where I have our mana stored. We're just going to pull a barrel out. And then we're going to come over to this other side and plop it right here. Okay. So this is going to automatically fill this, and it's going to get ready. And I'm going to put our 64 in here. So this is set to inject a pulse. This is a iron dropper. It's got a 5-tick delay, but this won't really be mattered. And it has exact velocity, no effects. It's connected to a redstone timer with a bit of a delay. And the delay will fire this as well at the same time. This is a just standard RF Tools timer with 140 ticks. or seconds, whichever it is set to 140. So, and basically, you turn this on, it does a countdown, it fires. When it fires, it drops a... first toggles this to collect whatever's here. And the other side has a 4-tick delay. And then it fires this to place mana and drop a gold nugget in it at the same time. And the 4-tick delay basically gives enough time for this to pick up the knacker so that there's room for the mana to go out so it doesn't mess up. So if we set this and turn it on, it's pretty quick. It's not bad. And as you see, it operates in just the right amount of time that it transforms. There's probably half a second in between it dropping again. And this is how I automate knacker. And you can just walk away and leave it. It will finish itself. And you will have a full barrel of knacker when you're done. So that's a simple way of automating knacker. And that is basically what I would recommend doing. Now you can change how the setup works. I did it kind of all over the place. Yours doesn't have to be all over the place. You can be cleaner than me. It's fine. But that's basically the premise. I don't know if this timer will be right on your server. This is what I tested at the time I made this. With everyone building stuff, it still seems to be active. So this still seems to be a good timer. So that's what I would recommend, is 140 on that. And yeah, that will automate your knacker. Now, you can set up like fluid controls and always keep knacker on standby and all that stuff. That is 100% up to you. But this is what I set up, so this is what I prefer to do with that. And I think we will wrap up there and just let that go. So with that said, we will come back and we will look into automating blood magic slates, at least from basic to the other tiers on the altar, so that we don't have to spend hours like sitting there right clicking to make the slates. And then we'll look into getting the rituals done for our infinity dust. And basically, it will make us infinite infinity dust and infinite grains of infinity. So with that, you guys have a wonderful night, and we will tune in next episode. Goodbye.